welcome to Business Studies Class 11, Chapter 1, Nature and Purpose of Business. Explanation, Part 4. And in this explanation, we will be starting with the second part of the first chapter on business. Now, let us start with the business concept. Please listen to it very carefully. Listen, all human beings means we, the people, wherever we are, in any part of the world, in any corner of the world, we all require to perform some or the other activity to satisfy their needs, because in our daily life we have to buy many things. Sometimes we are in need of many things that we need to purchase it. So in order to satisfy our needs and wants, so all human beings, they pursue different kinds of occupations to earn their livelihood. They work, they have different types of work. They have to go different, like every people, they don't go to a same work. Everybody has their own occupations, like some are carpenters, some are teachers, some are businessmen, some they go to an office, some are government officers, some are government servants, and some are work in a private companies, some work in a hotels, hotel management, and so on, just to earn a livelihood, so that they can take care of their families and also to get some psychological satisfaction. Likewise, if we stay at home and do nothing, if we don't have money, we will not be able to satisfy our needs, plus we will remain empty stomach. We will not be able to take care of our family, our elders, and so on. So to satisfy our need to to get what we want, we all need to earn money, that is to take care of our livelihood. So activities which human being undertakes are known as human activities. Whatever the activities the human being undertake are known as the human activities, and some of the activities which are undertaken to earn money, okay, but others are performed to derive personal satisfactions. Like for example, on examinations of the human activities, one can find that some of these activities produce direct economic benefits, like for example working in office, running a shop, practicing as a doctor, and so on. They can be said as a direct economic benefits, whereas there are some others which do not produce direct economic benefit. Likewise, cooking, playing, going to school, going to temple, etc. Next is the types of human activities. In this, human activities can be classified into two categories. Number one, economic activity. Number two, non-economic activities. Now let us go in detail. The first one is economic activities. So economic activities means activities which are undertaken by people with the object of earning money are known as economic activities. Anything that deals with monetary term, anything that we do with the money, the money which we get in return after working, or earning money after doing a business, so that is called economic activities. So these activities are mainly concerned with production, exchange, and distributions of goods and services. So the purpose of economic activities should be expectations of money. That means whatever we do, we need to do to earn money, or you can say income, which is used for further creation of wealth or assets. So economic activities are done to take care of our family and for our livelihood. So some examples of economic activities are production of goods in a factory, means producing of goods, any products, distributions of goods via wholesalers or retailers. You can talk like shopkeepers, people working in a factory, a doctor, a lawyer, working as a teacher in a school, etc. So all these are economic activities. So economic activities are known as activities which are done to earn money in return. Next is the types of economic activities. So economic activities can be divided into three categories. That means they are divided into three groups. The first one is business, second is profession, and third is employment. I'll repeat it again. Economic activities can be divided into three categories. They are business, profession, and employment. So this is under the economic activities. So now let us go in detail. Business refers to those economic activities which are connected with the production, purchase, sales, or distribution of goods or services with the main objective to earn profit. Business means dealing in goods and services to satisfy the needs and wants of the customers, which are done to earn money. So that is business. So this is also an economic activities, like for example fishing, mining, farming, manufacturing, wholesalers, retailers, big business tycoons. They are all the examples of business. Industrialist also you can see. Second one is professions. So professions are also an economic activities, but it requires a special knowledge and skill to be applied by an individual in his work to earn a living. That means we require a particular qualifications to become a professional. So these activities are subject to guidelines or code of conduct which are laid down by the professional bodies. So the people who are engaged in professions are known as professionals. That means the people, even they also work to earn money in return. Even they need money for their livelihood. So the person who has a particular qualification to do a profession work are known as the professionals. Like for example, lawyers are professionals engaged in a legal professions which are governed by the Bar Council of India. If you want to become a lawyer, you have to study law. So for that you need a particular professions. And doctors, if you want to become a doctor, then you need to study a doctorate, MBBS, and so on. So doctors are also a professional, so who are in a medical professions, and which are governed by the Medical Council of India. And if you also want to become a teacher, you need to have a particular qualification for it, for example B.Ed, M.Ed, so on. So to become a profession you need to study and have a particular qualification for it. So this is a profession. And the third one is the employment. Employment means to work under someone. So employment refers to an activity. This also economic activity, because we are working under someone to earn money. In return, like we get a salary. So employment refers to an activity which which an individual work regularly for another person. That means employees are the ones who work regularly for another person, and in return they get salaries. So in other word, in business word, you can also use the word remuneration. So they get remunerated in return to work for others. So those who are employed by others are known as employees. So that means if you are working under someone, that means we are employees. And so the person who are engaged, who engage, who gives other work to others regularly for them, are known as employers. And the remuneration paid by employer to employee is known as salary or wages. That means if you work under someone as an employee, as an employer, what we do is we get money in return. Like for example, working in office, that means we are working under someone. If you're working in a government, means we are working for the government, so we are known as the government servants. Banks, we are working under someone, they are employees. Insurance companies, shops, in shop also they keep like sales girls, salesmen, so all those are employee. And the person who is working as a manager, clerk, peon, salesmen, etc. So this were the some types of economic activities, which are divided into three categories. They are business, profession, and employment. Next is the non-economic activities. So non-economic activities are activities which are not done for a monetary purpose, so which are done out of love, sympathy. So the activities which are undertaken by an individual with a motive of getting psychological satisfactions are known as non-economic activities, like that is for our own satisfaction, for our self. Like for example, going to a temple, we are not doing out of money, so we are doing for our own psychological satisfaction. Going to a temple, giving donations, charities, social services which we don't get money in return. And production for self consumption, the things which we want to make for our own self. Sometimes like we bake cake, that means we are baking cake for our families, for your sisters, brothers, out of love, and not going to sell that cake. So that is the non-economic activities, that means which are done out of love and sympathy. So the end result of non-economic activities is not earning profit. That means non-economic activities are something which are not done to earn profit or creation of wealth, but it gives satisfaction to ourselves. Likewise, if you make a tasty food for your families, for your friends, so in return, if they say your food has become very tasty, your food is so good, you make so good food, tasty food, what do you feel? You tend to get that satisfactions. You enjoy and you love hearing those comments, the credit given to you. So all these are done out of non-economic activities, that means that is done out of love for your families. So whether an activity is economic or non-economic activity, it depends on the motive with which it is performed. That means whatever you do, whether you do economic activity or non-economic activity, it depends upon how you perform it. So the same activity can be economic if it results in earning money. The same work can be done in terms of economic activity, whereas non-economic activities as well. So if it result in earning money, and can be non-economic if end result is not monetary gain, that means if you don't earn money. Like for example, when a teacher is teaching in a school, it is an economic activity because he or she gets salary for teaching. And when the teacher is teaching his or her son at home, then this is termed as non-economic activity, as she is not getting money in return. So that she will not get monetary benefits for teaching, but the end result is satisfaction of teaching one's own child. So in the same way, when a farmer is producing crops for selling in the market, it is called economic activities. But when he is cultivating crops for self consumption, that means for the self, for the families, then it is called non-economic activities. So with this, I am sure you must have understood what is economic activity and non-economic activities. So with this, we have finished the types of human activities. Next is characteristics or nature of business, and under this there are 6 points. First is an economic activity Second, production or procurement of goods and services. Third, sales or exchange of goods and services for the satisfaction of human needs. Fourth, dealing in goods or services on a regular basis. Fifth, earning, sorry, profit earning. And sixth is uncertainty of return or risk. Now, let us go in detail. The characteristics or nature of business. Let's start with number one. The first one is an economic activity, means business obviously is considered as an economic activities because it is related to monetary terms, and they earn profit in return uh, to look after the family and for their livelihood. So the main objective or aim is to earn money and uh, and for their livelihood, and not for a psychological satisfaction. So this is not done out of love, sympathy. So it is done to earn money in return. Second one is production or procurement of goods and services, means every business enterprises they either produce, means they either produce to make goods, or procure goods or services from the producers, and goods which may consist of consumers or industrial goods, and services may include transportations, banking, insurance, etc. Means production or procurement of goods and services means, like every businessman, what they do is they either produce goods, or sometimes they sell raw materials to the industries so that they can make use of the raw materials and make goods in return. So in this, which may include services like transportation is required, yes, uh, banking is required to earn money, and insurance is required to reduce their risk. Third one is sales or exchange of goods and services for the satisfaction of human needs. Business involves sales or exchange of goods and services. Obviously, business is done to sell goods or services. So the production of goods or services for a self consumption is not business. The like I explained it earlier, like farmer growing crops to sell in the market is known as economic activities, and the same farmer, if he is cultivating crops for the self consumption for the family, then it is not called a business. So but the farmer like similarly, buying goods to gift to someone else is not a business. That means if you are buying a goods, that means if you are buying a gift to give it to your friends or families, that is not termed as business. But buying of goods for resale is business. That means if you are going to a wholesalers to buy 4-5 bottles of sweets, biscuits, and so on, 4-5 packets to resale in the to resell it to the consumers, then that is termed as a business. But business which are done on a regular basis is known as business, that which you do on a daily life. Sometimes selling of goods is not termed as business. So there must be sale or exchange of goods and services. Fourth one says dealing in goods or services on a regular basis, means this is one of the very important features of business, is that it must sell or exchange goods or services on a regular basis. So if you do business on a daily life, that is termed as business. Buying or selling of goods or services once or twice is not business. Sometimes, like you purchase online jacket and sometimes it doesn't fit you, and you want to sell it to your friend at a lesser price, then that is not termed as business, because you don't do it on a regular basis. But like shopkeepers, retail shop wholesalers, they do business on a regular basis, so that is a called a particular business. So one single transaction of sale does not constitute business. Like, for example, if a person sells his house to buy a new house, he is not doing a business. But if a person buys and sells houses on a regular basis to earn commissions, then it will be considered as business. Like builders, what they do is they buy, they sell land, buildings, so they are considered as a business because they do it on a regular basis. So regularity of occurrence of a business transaction is must. So if, because if you do business on a regular manner, then obviously transactions are mandatory. And fifth one is profit earning. Obviously business is done to earn money, so that is why it is considered as an economic activity. So the main purpose of business is to earn profit. So if the profit motive is missing in the transaction, then it cannot be considered as a business transactions. So whatever you sell in the market, if you note it down in the in your account book, then it is termed as a business. So supposing if you have sell any goods and not written on a account in your diary, then it is not considered as a business transaction. Like, for example, goods given in charity, like goods given to old age home, uh, ashrams and so on, it is not a business activity. That is a non-economic activities because you don't get anything in return. You are doing out of love, so which gives you satisfaction, that is psychological satisfaction. So no business can survive without earning sufficient profit. People, they do business just to earn profit. We cannot just stay in average, because he has to keep his target very high to earn profit. From profit only, the businessman is uh, looking after their families and for their livelihood. And number 6 is uncertainty of return or risk. See, business is always uncertain because we cannot guarantee, like, if we do business we will earn money. Yes, we do earn money, but we cannot guarantee that we'll earn high number of profit, high number of like, we get profit. Sometimes we may go loss, sometimes we may earn average, sometimes we even face losses. So that is why business are never certain, because we cannot guarantee what might happen in future, because we have not seen the future. Sometimes we may earn a good profit, sometimes we don't, sometimes we earn average, and sometimes we may face losses as well. So this is also another important features of business, is the presence of risk factor in the transactions. If you really want to do business, we have to face risk, we have to face challenges, because until unless we don't make any mistakes, we are not going to learn from it. So there is always a possibility of losses and sometimes profit also. So that is why it is not certain that the businessman will always earn adequate profit, as market conditions may change, customers taste may change, because humans are never satisfied with with one product. They always want to try something new, and because of that, many business they might face losses due to the change in the taste of the customers. There may be strike in businessmen's own factories, etc. So all this can lead to losses. So in business transaction there is always an element of risk involved. So in business, risk are there. So without risk we cannot do business. For that risk, insurance gives a protection, or and they reduces the risk. They don't reduce the risk completely, but at least they'll help in reducing a lesser amount. So that is how the insurance helps. So with this we have completed with the characteristics or nature of business.